KBJR6 and Range 11. In touch.
I'm Zach Vavrik. I'm live at Bentleyville right now, where you can see it's open. But after today, it's also open for religious debate. I'll have more on that coming up next.
A bus loaded from Ashland is heading to Milwaukee. What for? I'm Jordan Winan, and I'll tell you next.
Governor Mark Dayton was in Duluth today to celebrate 3 cities and 1 company gaining yellow ribbon status. I'm Jenna Pike, and I'll tell you which ones those are coming up.
Live from the Northlands News Center, this is the KBJR6 and Range 11 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Barbara Riles. Michelle Lee has the night off. A federal court decision today allows anyone to share their beliefs on public property, including at Bentleyville and Bayfront Festival Park in Duluth, at least for now. Last year, Duluth police removed 2 preachers from the Bentleyville Tour of Lights, and the men then filed suit against the city of Duluth, claiming a violation of their First Amendment rights. That's tonight's top story. Zach Vavrika joins us live from Bentleyville with the latest on this decision and what it means going forward. Zach.
Barbara, it's just a preliminary injunction, which means that anyone is free to practice their First Amendment rights on public property until this lawsuit gets resolved. Now, what that means is that a federal magistrate ruled today that the city of Duluth cannot prevent any type of religious practice at the Bayfront Park, even though the park is leased at this point to the Bentleyville Tour of Lights. According to Bentleyville's lawyer, Ken Butler, the language in the lease is worded to prevent First Amendment rights, including religious freedoms, until a final decision is reached in the lawsuit. This means that Bentleyville and the city of Duluth cannot remove anyone who is engaged in public speaking, including the sharing of religious messages, until their actions are deemed harassment.
It was not intended by Bentleyville to allow others to use Bentleyville as a forum to promote their own parochial goal, which in this case would be the dissemination of religious beliefs. But if the court found otherwise, then we'll abide by it and live with it and go from there.
This lawsuit is not over, Barbara. According to Butler, it just returns the status quo to the Bayfront Park.
All right, Zach, do we have any idea when a final decision might be handed down?
According to Butler, sometime early next year, this lawsuit should get resolved. City Attorney Gunnar Johnson did say that if the costs come up too high, the city will settle.
All right, thanks very much, Zach. Well, it was a very slippery morning today, and we could be headed for a very slippery evening. Adam Clark joins us from the Weather Garden. Adam, is it getting slick out there again now as temperatures drop?
It looks like it, Barbara. I've got one of my fans on Facebook, Adam Clark NNC, says ESCO is right now pretty slick out there. Temperatures are hovering right around that freezing mark, and as we head throughout the night, it's not going to get any warmer. We're looking at northwesterly flow, so that means colder air coming in. Fog possible as well until 5 o'clock. Dense fog advisory. Watch out for icy surfaces on rural roads, sidewalks, and steps. Here's a look at the temperatures. We'll have another look all coming up. You can see Grand Rapids and Hibbing already hovering at that freezing mark. So just be safe out there and watch out. We'll have the rest of your forecast all coming up, Barbara.
All right, thanks very much, Adam.
Yep.
A bill to streamline the permitting process and jumpstart the proposed GTAC mine in northwestern Wisconsin had hundreds of people packed into a day-long public hearing in Milwaukee. Jordan Winan joins us from the newsroom after visiting residents bright and early this morning in Ashland as they headed out to attend that meeting.
Yeah, Barbara, the Wisconsin League of Conservation Voters paid for a bus that would transport citizens hoping to voice their opinions about the controversial mining bill. The bus was waiting in the parking lot of Northland College in Ashland, Wisconsin, long before anyone in Milwaukee was traveling to the hearing.
I'm not too pleased about getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I just assumed they had a hearing up here. But like I said, I think they're more concerned about the people in Milwaukee and downstate that, you know, they're not aware of what's happening up here, and we need to take it back down to them and show them. So
I think it's a pathetic show of democracy that we have to travel 350 miles as the people affected by the bill that's being discussed.
The discussion was intense, with nearly 130 people registered to comment on the bill, which was released just last week. Although the meeting's location in Milwaukee drew criticism, Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch says the issue has statewide impact.
And a lot of what we manufacture is mining equipment. So this is good on two fronts. We're helping our manufacturers grow their employee base, and then we're also providing jobs in the northern half of our state.
With the Republican Assembly bill on the table, a vote will come in January. Some, however, are hoping for another version that will increase environment quality standards that some feel are too weak right now.
Create a bill that moves forward in increasing the amount of public safety, public health, and environmental protection in a mining bill.
According to a summary of the 183-page bill, the Department of Natural Resources would have 360 days to approve or deny an application once the paperwork is deemed complete. The Senate Assembly is working fast on a version of that bill that may include higher environmental standards, Barbara.
That's a long and complicated bill, 183 pages, Jordan, but are there parts within the bill that have people in our region more concerned than others?
Yes, there are. It's about the revenue the state would generate in taxes and where it would go. The bill discussed today would create a situation where the state would collect 50% of the taxes levied on income from the sale of ore. Normally, those taxes would be distributed to counties and municipalities where mining is taking place, Barbara.
I can see why that might have people concerned. Thanks very much, Jordan. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker and members of his cabinet have made recent visits to northwestern Wisconsin to talk about jobs. Today, the lieutenant governor stopped in Minocqua, serving as the keynote speaker at the Northern Wisconsin Economic Development Summit. Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch explained the importance of guiding Wisconsin toward job creation, a feat in which she says Wisconsinites have made great strides compared to other states. Ashland Mayor Bill Whalen attended that two-day seminar, and he feels connections he made there may aid him in his city's struggles.
I know that the tools that I can reach out through the state to help our area and our town. And they have people who are assigned to our regions that I can call on now. And if I'm working for an area, like I have a store now in JCPenney that wants to move out of town, well, I have resources I can call on now to possibly help me convince them to stay in town.
Several state agencies, including the Department of Tourism, Transportation, and Natural Resources, led discussions on key issues specific to northern Wisconsin, including how best to grow the economy, develop the workforce, and best utilize the area's natural resources. That summit ended this afternoon. Duluth area businesses are breathing a sigh of relief after the U.S. Postal Service announced a delay in closing post offices and processing centers until mid-May. Duluth's only processing center, housed in the main post office, currently provides one-day mail delivery service in Duluth. If the center closes, as the Postal Service is considering, mail delivery would increase up to 3 days. For businesses like Minnesota Power, which relies on this one-day service for 75% of its 144,000 customers, this delay in closing gives them a crucial adjustment period. Minnesota Power will be doing some fine-tuning in its operations for the suspected May closure of the Duluth Processing Center.
Delays in receiving billing, delays in billing being sent out. And so anytime you're talking about a 1 or 2 day delay, that certainly has the potential to increase our business costs.
If the closure does happen in May, all local mail will be rerouted to St. Paul before coming back up north. Close to 50 jobs also would be terminated in Duluth. While most people's property taxes are on the rise, people in Superior will be seeing theirs go down. Superior Mayor Bruce Hagan announced today that the 2011 property tax rate for 2012 operations will be reduced by 0.40%. The city's general fund operating budget for 2012 will be $500,000 less than it was in 2011. The city departments will also be reducing their budgets by 2.5%. in order to ensure a balanced budget. Mayor Hagan said his priority and goal is to make sure there isn't any further burden on individuals and property owners in this economy.
Times are tight. We had the capacity to raise the mill rate or the levy. We chose not to do that because everybody is suffering, and we're trying to operate on a balanced budget with the least amount of money that we can achieve.
Mayor Hagan said even though they'll be taking in less revenue, the city will still be able to make capital improvements to their parks, streets, and public areas. Still to come, Northlanders are honored for going the extra mile to help service members and their families. And a new watering hole is brewing in Canal Park.